Hey guys, Swami here. Today I want to talk about the huge topic of retail versus classic WoW, but not the game systems, not the mechanics in place, not the things that change from expansion to expansion, or the way gear itemizes over the course of an expansion or a tier. I want to talk more about how the communities in both games are different. Now, granted, I play the game very differently in retail versus I do in classic. On retail, I like to mythic grade. Cutting edge is usually my goal every tier. I also play classic, and it's a completely different experience. First of all, the kind of guild I'm in is a much more casual, community-focused guild. Very friendly, very nice. If you want to check us out, we're on ATS. But it's not as big a deal being able to min-max your play on classic as it is on retail. And I think that opens up a lot more depth for what a guild is able to provide in classic. For me, I went into classic knowing that I wanted to raid. I'm not a big PvPer at all, and by not a big, I don't do it. I don't find it fun. If I want to PvP, I go and play FPS. I play WoW to raid and do dungeons. So classic was a lot of fun leveling up, to be honest. I met a lot of new people. Something I don't really do much in retail anymore. I run my keys with generally the same people. I have my small group of friends that I hang out in Discord with. And then I have my raid team, who I spend most of my time on retail doing content with. On classic, it was completely different. Like I said, I met a lot of new people. It wasn't really a race to 60. I mean, we hit 60, I want to say 13, 14 days playtime in. Nothing competitive. But it was fun going through zones and taking out that feeling of I need to do more damage so that I feel like I'm playing the game right. And I think that's what has, I don't know if crippled is the right word to describe retail for me, but if I don't parse well on a fight, I feel like I did the fight wrong. If I don't have the right eye level weapons for my Demon Hunter, I feel like I need to go grind Mythic Plus because I didn't get lucky on this week's raid drops. I don't get that sort of pressure from Classic, and I think that's why it is so relieving to play Classic versus playing retail, because I log in and I don't feel like there is a checklist of things I need to get done to be able to compete with other players. Like I said, I don't really understand itemization, especially for BWL coming out, and how important it's going to be to get those. But what I do know is that either you get them or you don't. There's really no dungeon equivalents like in retail where we can go and endlessly farm Mythic Plus, hoping for a Titan Forge or a Socket or something like that. In Classic, it seems a lot more cut and dry, and that's helped me take a lot of time away from Classic and not feel like I'm missing out. I did a lot of my character progression front loading, meaning that over the first 3-4 weeks of Classic's launch, I got most of my BIS items, and that really opened up a lot of space for me to just kind of hang out and play the MMO for the MMO aspect, not for the not even for the RPG aspect. I don't feel as connected with my classic tune as I do with my retail tune, because I simply just don't put as much time into it. But I do feel like the relationships I've grown through classic are much more genuine than the relationships I have through retail. Retail feels very similar to a job and having coworkers or colleagues. They're people you get along with. They're people that you enjoy spending a lot of time with, because frankly there's a lot of work to get done, but you don't feel the need to go and hang out with them outside of your day-to-day business. And I think that's evident in the way that I see where I am on Discord. I mean, that's a huge thing for me. Am I sitting in my own Discord, hanging out with some friends, doing some keys, or grinding some world quests? Don't even get started on world quests. But or am I sitting in my retail Discord, hanging out with the guys and running some high keys, pushing some high content? Or am I sitting in the classic Discord and probably not even being logged on, but just sitting there and talking to people because it's something relaxing and fun to do? And I'm in my classic Discord a lot more than I am in my retail Discord. And I think it's because of the lack of pressure and the lack of things that I have to do, which makes anything that I choose to do feel more like a choice for me. If I want to go help people run a dungeon in Classic, it's because I chose to. It's not because I need anything from there. It's not that I'm hoping for a piece of gear or some sort of drop, and if I don't get it, then I'm upset and I feel like I have to do it again. It's just a way to spend the extra time that I have doing something I like. And I hope that people who play retail and might be getting a little burnt from the systems that are in place, whether it's Azerite or essence farming or annoyance that gear progression practically resets every patch. I think Classic helps you understand that WoW was never really about that kind of stuff. And it doesn't have to be. I know for myself, I'm probably never going to be a casual retail player who doesn't care about performance and does the content for the sake of doing the content, not for the sake of pushing it as hard as possible. But on the flip side, I also have Classic to do that more casual setting. I don't know, man. It's just different. It's cool that it exists. It's nice that you can do both without feeling like you're missing out on one or the other. And that might all change with Visions of N'Zoth, the new patch coming out, with having to do the small Azerite grind, new essences, being able to grind the cloak that you get, the legendary cloak, and all the insanity and new mechanics and new features that they're putting in, and people are telling me that it's more complicated than all of BFA has been all this time, and it seems like it's a lot, and it's going to take up a lot of time, especially people like me who like to front load their gameplay. I try to get as much done in the beginning as possible. That way if things come up later on, like Classic did, I can take some time away from retail and not feel like I'm getting too far left behind. So I guess we'll see how things play out next year when BWL comes out, which is I hear a harder raid to deal with. So we'll see how the guild handles that. And then retail's going through its last patch, which is going to be huge. And I do want to stay competitive on that front too. So what can you take away from this? You want to make friends, you want to have a good time, you want to see yourself playing a game that you may not be doing well, but let me not say not doing well, but you may not be pushing super hard content. It might not be challenging, but you get to take that energy and that focus that you were having trying to complete super hard content and put it towards a conversation with someone while you're doing it. Then Classic might be pretty cool for you. It's not slowing down. It doesn't feel like it's slowing down. I still log in and Ironforge is full of people. It seems like people are really enjoying it, and I hope that Blizzard figures out a way to be able to release content for both retail and Classic without them conflicting too much, where a person like me would have to pick one or the other. And that would be the feels bad, having to pick between one or the other. So I guess I'll end the video there. Thank you again for watching. If you liked it, please like the video. If you loved it, please consider subscribing. And as always, I hope you all stay safe.